over someone like Peanut that can play Gragas, but is much more skirmish-orientated than Blank is.
Well, so far, the top lane is where the focus is. Cannon going to be banned away by Longzhu, so not going to go for any fancy strats, and we're going to continue on this path as J4 going to be taken off the board by SKT as well.
And I feel like SKT is fishing for Elise or Zac. They feel like they can get one of them because Longzhu are going to double ban here, first top, then mid lane. And now SKT, we know they have a Zac player. They also have an Elise player if Blank wants to jump on those picks, and they can force one of the two by just banning something that isn't one of Elise or Zac.
Well, you have to feel that it has to be the Zac, but Zac is going to be banned by SKT. They've done it on blue side both times this time around.
With Peanut, I understand. With Blank, I am surprised they still don't want to go to the Zac. Could just be lack of practice. We only have seen a single Zac game this season from Cuz. So Elise and Lee Sin left available. Could look for a trade here if you want to, even though the matchup can certainly swing.
Galio left available, and that's going to be the last ban here for Longzhu. So you're right, Elise and Lee Sin both up.
Elise higher priority because it opens up AD laners that are popular in every lane. You know, we've got the likes of the Lucian tops, also the Zed as we saw in game one. So a facilitator for a more open draft is the Elise, so no surprise the SKT drafting that first. Cuz has Lee Sin if he wants to follow the tier list or can go in a different direction.
But there's Ashe and Thresh both available as well, as Longzhu consider the Thresh to be the priority here, and Cuz is going to lock away his Lee.
We'll still visit that. The Olafs are certainly dried up here in the most recent week, and we saw our first Nidalee yesterday, and that didn't find too much purchase either. SKT have been responding with the Varus over Ashe in a lot of games. Ashe available to them for the first time here.
Yeah. Opting in for this one, Bang has been showing certainly priority on that champion. Played it a heck of a lot of times, actually.
I wonder if BDD wants to play Taliyah, because Faker has played a lot of Kassadin in solo queue. So they went for it in the first game, double banned after taking Taliyah at the last pick in the first round on red side. Intrigued to see if they want to do that again. SKT just putting as much power in the laning phase as possible in bot lane.
Yeah, and it is going to be, once again, that's 3 games in a row now that we're going to have Varus and Lulu. Of course, SKT very comfortable with that lane. Can flex it, most certainly, but that's going to be the Fiora locked in for Khan. Pretty solid draft so far, and I say solid for Longzhu just because these are certainly going into those lanes. Not a lot of flexibility here on Longzhu's side.
And I'll take the other side of the solid coin. Khan is an excellent Fiora, especially in solo queue. You can understand blind picking it here, but you're blind picking a carry top laner against Huni. And if Huni is willing to get creative, something like a Riven, for example, against Fiora, if we're treated to that, that will be the icing on what has been a very tasty cake so far. So seeing if he'll just go for a more reliable tank or go into a skill matchup against the Fiora is going to be a really fun one to track, because every time I see someone taking a skill matchup against Huni, I remember some of the outplays as recently as MSI, and I say, okay, you're rolling the dice.
Yeah, most certainly are. Zed is going to be the ban here from Longzhu, though. They understand that that Elise is going to open up a lot of options in the mid lane.
And it's looking like a first pick Taliyah in the second round with the Zed ban.
Ooh, the Kalista going to be taken off the board. I thought it might be the Caitlyn. And I hope that Longzhu do have some sort of plan, as there's the Zarya. They do have something up their sleeve.
Get the Overwatch out of your head. It's a Zarya, not a Zarya.
I said Zarya.
It sounds like Zarya.
I know.
Now we've both got Zarya.
Basically sounds the same. They start with different letters, though.
Now, will we actually see picking for comp here with the Rumble? Rumble, obviously, one of Huni's best champions, went through the picks and both sets of bans, but Fiora can certainly run away with this lane, and they will, so they don't go for a carry first carry matchup as we might expect. Go for the much more standard. And it felt like one team was going to blind pick the Taliyah. It is SK Telecom.
My god, that is a lot of magic damage on the side of SKT.
And it's a true 5v5 comp. As you say, Magic was just going to be getting a lot of value on the side of Longzhu, and he sees a Taliyah. We'll consider the Kassadin once again. We've seen these really risky drafts from Longzhu pay off, but taking Fiora and the Kassadin, and hell, a losing 2v2 lane. This Longzhu going all in on Cuz, getting them through the early game, and it's not on Zac this time. It's on the Lee Sin. Low wave clear on the side of Longzhu. Lot of scaling, but This is the sort of comp that will be unthinkable before the Doran Shield buffs came through. But I don't know if Doran Shield's going to be enough to carry them through the early game against SK Telecom.
And this is exactly the same as the composition that they were able to win out with when they had the Zac, apart from the Twitch in the bottom lane, which is now replaced with that Xayah that Prey is going to be hopping onto. And is that going to be enough with the early game pressure that Lee Sin will be able to provide over a Zac? And then we've got the Xayah instead of the Twitch to try and buy a little bit of room as well. I'm not sure whether it's necessarily going to work as well, but they did find a victory with a similar comp last time we saw it.
You just see where this comp could win for Longzhu, but the amount of risk here, again, unthinkable before the Doran Shield changes, makes you look at SKT with a much more standard comp and could very much run away with this game. Taking Kassadin against Faker has usually been a failure, but it's a great matchup for Kassadin after level 6. SKT know that. They will play around the pre-6 window very extensively. Prey's going to be jumping on Xayah, which is a really interesting choice. A lot was available. Could have been the Caitlyn to go more standard and just wave clear in the mid lane. Instead he goes Xayah. Longzhu going all in to pick up a famous victory.
Yeah, and we know that Prey has been favoring a lot of, just the standard AD carries. We've got Caitlyn, Varus, and the Ashe being in his certain wheelhouse. Has he been secretly practicing this Xayah? Has he got it prepared for us? We'll have to find out right now as we hop onto the Rift. Whoa. Well, the leaders of these cheers are certainly excited, Papa Smithy, and I certainly am too. The deciding match, our final game of the night, SKT versus Longzhu. Oh, and we've got Praise Xayah as well, asking so many questions. BDD once again on the Kassadin that he's 1-1 on at the moment, but when he lost that game on Kassadin, he still went 4-1-3. This guy is a beast.
Prey. That's not necessarily a brush you want to face check, especially with Faker now walking up as well.
Well, there's infinitely more damage being achieved by SKT early on. This Prey's looking to try and go back now before the minions spawn, get his health back. So it'll be okay. Once
again return to why Longzhu feel like they can go for a draft that anyone can see is very risky. They have Kassadin, one of the weakest laners, pre-6. They have Fiora, who offers no wave clear apart from Tiamat procs, but can run away with the game. The 1-3-1 in the late game, if you strap 6 items on everyone, it's happy times for Longzhu. You win almost every game. But that's going to be very, very difficult for them to pull off. They've allowed Elise to go through, which makes SKT one of the strongest dueling junglers, one of the most contested champions, actually, right now. 100% picked bans so far in Champions Summer, with 7-1 before this game has started, so the win rate has been there as well. And the reason why people feel like you can go for scaling is that they say that Doran's Shield 2 health pots is enough to get any risky pick through a laning phase. And I think in terms of 1v1, it's not far from the truth. It is very, very strong in helping Fioras and Kassadins get through the laning phase. That's why we see triple Doran's Shield on all those riskier picks on the side of Longzhu. But when you factor in the Elise, and especially in Elise, gonna get down and dirty very early.
Yeah, Cuz could find himself well and truly cocooned right now as in comes Blank. Cuz should be able to at least get out of this one, but the Thunderlord's procs and Blank is going to be able to take control right here. Wolf, he's going to make his way over. Blank will steal away this blue buff. So once again, disrupting Cuz in the early game.
And stopping the Lee Sin from hitting level 3 and being there to potentially counter gank when Blank enters lane. Thresh and Xayah are not going to be able to win the push war against Lulu and the Varus, who can start pushing from level 1. So that's why Blank's job is to basically keep tabs on Cuz and allow the natural pushing lanes to do their thing. We talked about a draft like this between Jin Air and their opposition Everate very early in the day with 3 pushing lanes. Your goal as the jungler is to basically shut down the impact of Lee Sin when all your lanes are in great spots.
Well, BDD avoids the cocoon, but does have to flash out of the way of the seismic shove. Blank, successful gank once again as Cuz is going to at least not get 3 buffed.
And SKT are pushing in, trying to work out where Cuz has gone. They imagine he would recall. They don't have complete information on where he went subsequently as Khan face checks Rumble.
Yeah, and he's overheated there as well. Khan struggling against Tooney. That was a good trade, but
Still level 2.
Oh, God. Oh, Blank's going to turn up here as well, so Kaz, he's going to make his way out with his double buffs. There is vision available once again for Blank on this Krog camp.
Just answering vision, though, so he won't contest. Finally, Kaz has been eluded of level 2 for almost 4 minutes. We'll get to level 3. BDD may be flashless, but Doran's shield means that he can stay in lane for now.
Doran shield also fantastic against the incremental damage that Faker will have available to him.
You see that BD's going the new school. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, Bang is actually going to get
Turret
back
aggro.
in. Oh my God, the autos are coming in. Bang's going to die. First blood goes to Gorilla.
Sometimes in the 2v2, even there, Gorilla can make it work. Weaving in the hook as Wolf tried to get a counter kill, won't. Didn't use Ignite, but wouldn't have been enough to pick up the kill. But a lane that had been pressure to SKT the entire time is turned on its head just because Gorilla saw a hook and he took it.
Yeah, he most certainly did. Now Wolf, he probably wants to hold on to this minion wave if he can. It's only now that Prey's been able to even out the CS. That is going to be Cannon Minion falling down as well.
If you're given no pressure, then you can actually hold it. I mean, the cannon will go over to Varus. Didn't happen this time. Kaz can't really work out whether he can go in aggressively on Elise. The answer is no.
Yep, both teleports to be used to head back towards the top lane as well as Huni makes his way back in. As himself, Doran's shield of his own, as well as those boots and an amp tome. Khan already back up here. He's gone the soldier build.
And guess what Gorilla says? He says, well, I got the kill in lane. Time to get my boots and start a roaming.
Oh, yeah. And this is what we want. It's 3 games in a row on the Thresh. Even in the game that they lost, Gorilla was still able to make the plays.
But what does he really have to work with, Atlas? Maybe he can clear some wards, but it's a level 5 Kassadin, so that's not going to lead to any... Or is it?
As he skirted the vision. Oh, my goodness.
He saw what he saw. He was going for some sick geometry there. Vel'Koz was watching on, nodding his head, but couldn't make it happen.
We still need that Professor Vel'Koz.
I agree.
Oh, it's important. As long as you're once again looking for Faker, they'll find themselves a control ward.
If BD had the flash, then there is more kill pressure onto the Taliyah, but level 5 no flash means that even with Gorilla coming in, there was not going to be realistic pressure onto Faker with both summoners up.
Well, both AD carries going for the double longsword build. We've got an extra pair of shoes here for Prey, though.
Didn't really get to mention it, but that Fire Touch is the new master on Kassadin. Max Q, basically throw out your Q and Death Fire Touch and do fine in trades. Does mean that a lot of Kassadins are going 5 points into Q before maxing E. Used to be 3 Q, or basically as many Q as you felt you needed for laning phase.
Yep. Then
maxing E, but does mean that you're less team fight ready early, but if you leave lane with an extra 20 CS, maybe it was worth it.
Prey unable to find the double daggers here in this lane so far. Bang still with a heck of a lot of control. 10 CS in the lead as he makes his way back forward. Prey probably would have liked that kill that Gorilla snapped away from him, but these Moby Boots will help Gorilla as the game moves forward. Kaz once again dealing with full vision availability from SKT, but Blank as well discovered on the map.
Unbeknownst to him this time, so Kaz can just play respectfully.
Moves on over. Oh, that was adorable.
They want more as well.
Well, Hook's once again going to land onto Wolf this time. As he's burning down, the flashes come out. Wolf, will he actually fall? Gorilla, he's going to follow forward. The last auto attack's going to get it as Prey is being hunted by Bang. He doesn't have flash, but oh my goodness, the snare's not there, and Bang gets himself under the turret, and they go 2 for 1 in favor of Longshoe.
Yeah, it goes 2 for 1, like you say. Bang, in the end, just committed to not allowing the Xayah to stay in lane, potentially push up the minions. Minion wave wasn't in a great spot for Bang, so very questionable. Obviously looks comical when he's obviously jumping into his doom, only getting for best a 1 for 1. Speaking of 1 for 1s in mid lane.
Seismic Shove just going to be waited for by BDD. Has the Rift Walk, so Blank's gank attempts are most certainly not going to be as easy than they were pre-6. Classic Kassadin story. I feel like we go into the memory banks every time a Kassadin's being played because he was such a pivotal pick a few years ago.
A lot lower in power level, specifically around his ultimate being gated by cooldown at first level and mana even stronger than it was in the past, but Kassadin still Kassadin turned out.
Yep. No Chains of Corruption for Gorilla to worry about, but still wants to deal with this control ward that keeps regenning itself frustratingly.
Does lose out on 2 wards, which, with only a single ward left on his side stone, maybe actually none, can't really tell on our small monitors.
And doesn't actually have any left as Faker seismically shoves BDD back. Still loses a lot of his health, and BDD has a few more of them up his sleeve in this lane as he gets the mana back with that Netherblade.
Real kill pressure. Needs to be Rift walking onto Faker, who doesn't have barrier or any defensive tools, only non-magic mantle. Every time Cuz picks up camps in this red side jungle, and he's going to be wondering how, given that he's had the lane pushed in on the Fiora the entire laning phase, and now it's even going for a roam.
Actually looking for BDD potentially as Faker is going to head back, so just keeping this turret as healthy as possible. Is Huni, Force Pulse, doing a fair bit of damage.
He doesn't want to back yet. You'll see he's very close to teleport.
Yep. Couple of points in that Force Pulse. The new and improved Force Pulse as well.
It's kind of interesting on whether it was improved. It has more range by 15, which is kind of a neither here nor there thing. And I think the Cho'Gath changes when they made Feral Scream updated, I guess you would call it, in terms of when it acquires targets. Before, if they were in the cone when you cast it, it would hit, whereas now the change to both the Feral Scream and the Force Pulse is that it's registered after the animation, so you can flash out of it. I think it's a nerf, just given that you got so many of those wonky kills that the enemy was frustrated about.
Yep.
And the flash window was a lot less clear. Now flashes, there's more outplay to it, and 15 range doesn't feel like much of a buff. Taking a cooldown, second cooldown off it many patches ago was an outright buff now? I don't think so.
Well, in comes Cuz as well as Gorilla. He's going to get locked down. Bang. Ultimate is now running
Damn.
on. As Cuz, yeah, takes so much damage. Blanky gets kicked back. Cuz still alive. Dodges out of the way of the piercing arrow there as well. As Huni throws down the equalizer, Grand Challenge was used from Khan, but he's burning down to this flame spit of the flash. Huni wants it underneath the turret. Good riposte. Khan saves himself. He's got teleport available as well. And that is a flashless rumble now towards the top side.
Cuz is being greedy here.
Yeah, the ward was there, so vision was gained. BDD, he wants to be able to pick up this kill onto the Elise. He hops his way forward. Blank had the cocoon ready as Faker. He's going to turn up. Cuz throws himself in there.
Prey's
Prey.
alone.
Yeah, wrong position in the dark passage. Not going to be enough. Featherstorm comes in. Prey does at least get Blank to be snared, but he lands another cocoon and bang, grabs the kill onto BDD. Prey still under fire. The threaded volley grabs another one, and it's a disaster for Longzhu.
Big mistake from Prey walking up when the W was already used. Dark Passage on cooldown. No flash. Only the heal coming up at the last second. No way to get out. So 2 kills unnecessarily put over. As Riposte will stop the seismic shove from meaning more, but Fiora doesn't have a lot of wave, so they're going to take at least a bit of damage on the mid lane turret.
Yeah, it's not a disaster yet for Longzhu, but it's 1,000 gold now in favor of SKT. And you always feel, with certain matchups, 1,000 gold lead doesn't mean anything. But when it's KT, they can make any sort of lead and snowball. It just feels like if a game is in favor of SKT, it's so hard to bring it back.
And look, you get the war stories, you get the PTSD like you mentioned when SKT pick up a gold lead, but you also have to cast the game, well, I hold thought as, I feel like BDD also kind of overestimated his burst damage and ended up just harassing, but the moment Dark Passage was down, Prey had nowhere to go, admittedly. You noticed he was being harangued by Wolf and Bang in the bot side as well. Then BDD jumps in, he gives up his life. No way for Prey to fight in the backline either. Just a kind of collapse of communication. Cuzco just backed earlier, and none of this would have happened. But you also have to cast to the pick and ban. The pick and ban still is a late game smorgasbord for Longzhu. They've got everything in the late game with the Fiora split push, Kassadin split push. Building against both is almost impossible, and Rumble will have no lane to safely just walk around with teleport in the late game. So 1,000 gold is actually decent from the side of Longzhu game. If they stay within 5,000 or better, 15 minutes, 25 minutes further on, you have to like their scaling. And SKT, drafted and played around getting a fast lead, they really haven't got much of one so far.
Well, the Rift Herald is going to be started here from Blank. One
Really
of the earliest that we've seen.
Really high priority one, Atlas, because The wave clear, like we said, almost entirely absent on the side of Longzhu.
Now, this tower is going to fall down. Huni's going to grab first turret blood by himself and extend that lead that SKT have to just over 2,000. Blank wants to make sure that these structures keep falling.
Longzhu have to focus on so many things, like keeping these risky lanes afloat, that they can't contest Rift Herald like SKT tried so hard to do in Game 1. Great scenario to have Rift Herald for SKT, and it could also be the sort of thing that will actually open up a big gold lead. It's 2,000 now. Kassadin, unless he gets a lot of relief from the likes of Gorilla and Prey, will struggle to keep his turret up. And the pressure lead that SKT drafted for will actually come together maybe a little bit later than they would have hoped, but in the 15 to 20 minute passage of time.
Yeah. Well, Prey has the awkward build of the Essence Reaver. Couldn't afford the needlessly large rod. Needlessly large rod. BF sword when he went back last. So it is that cloak of agility as well as the hammer. And a cheeky dagger there as well.
Yeah, build together doesn't really do much, and he's quite a lot of gold away from an item that's only really a building block. Essence Reaver itself doesn't give really any level of power. Longzhu have continued to be contested at blue buff by SKT.
Well, Faker actually in trouble here as there's the kickback Cuz. Oh, but the wild growth is available from Wolf. They managed to get the grand challenge. Cuz makes it onto the healing field, but there's the equalizer. Cuz is burning down. Oh my goodness, so close. This is why you pop your potions, ladies and gentlemen.
13 HP, like you say, watching the mid lane, Rift Herald summoned. No way for Cuz to be there. Both Prey and Gorilla pushed on the turret, will lose the mid lane turret as you expect.
Now, Longzhu able to get something back, but there's the Feather Storm. Prey saves himself. And there's another hook onto Bang. The box comes in, more turret shots. And Bang, just a lot of unforced errors in this series, in this game.
Yeah, I mean, to be hooked into turret twice is unacceptable for Bang, given his reputation, given how he's usually so sure-footed about dodging these skill shots. As far as I can tell, had boots too at the time, had flash at the time. You know, Faker, Bang have always been famous for holding on to summoners, only using them when forced to. Bad calculations twice in a row, but speaking of calculations...
Yeah, Longzhu trying to get out on the bottom side. Double teleport is coming in. Prey manages to flash his way out. Has he bought enough time? As BDD, Force Pulse doesn't connect. It's a good repel from Blank, but he may still fall. Khan, a lot of damage. BDD grabs that kill. And Faker, no more Banshee's Veil. Riposte comes in. That seismic shove didn't work, and a double kill for the Kassadin. Feels like disaster for SKT as Wolf still playing aggressively. Huni, remember, very, very strong. But another Riftwalk comes in. Force Pulse again, not finding the mark. Lunges help get Khan out of the way.
Up.
And a hook comes in. Equalizer only onto BDD. He's the target that they want, but locking down a Kassadin so hard.
Yeah, he had to flash out, though. Didn't have the Riftwalk available. Too high a mana cost. Well, he's going to continue to invade, at least get some information where he can. And Cuz gets no free jungle camps on the bot side. That's what we've learned.
Oh, yes.
So we'll see the long replay. Gorilla actually flashes for extra length on the Dark Passage. It means that Prey lives a lot longer than perhaps SKT would have wanted. And then, even though both turrets are up, it's still a long lane when Kassadin's level 11. At the first kill onto Blank, Gorilla able to provide reinforcements. Nowhere for Faker to go. The downside in laning phase post 6 is that Talia has no answer when you're able to gap close. Nice turnaround. Big cheer from the captain of Longzhu, Gorilla. He's feeling this one. That gold lead, remember we were talking about what is the acceptable gold lead when you're against Fiora, Kassadin, and Xayah. Is it 5,000? Is it 10,000? It's definitely not 1,400 gold, Atlas.
Yeah.
So Longzhu are very happy with where this game sits at 17.5 minutes.
Yeah, and look at the Kassadin as well. 3-1-0. BDD always seems to be able to find kills, even on these scaling champions. He was 2-0 on the Zed last game. And now he's 3-1-0.
And he hasn't been greedy on the side of scaling. Kassadin scales, but Kassadin is Kassadin. Needs the catalyst to get through laning phase. Still is going Hextech GLP over the Rod of Ages. This game will probably be won and lost in the next 10 minutes. If he builds Rod of Ages, they lose the Baron, they lose a couple more Drakes, 5 more kills go to SKT. The game's probably over whether he's cashed in his Rod of Ages or not. So going for the GLP, wants that extra nuke to pick up the first kill and try to keep in the fights at this point in the game.
Well, Wolf took a little bit of damage from that double dagger blade caller combo. But this is going to be Mountain Drake falling in favor of SKT. 18 minutes for the first dragon of the game. Extremely late. Still is going to fall down. Zhonya's Hourglass done for Huni. There's a Weaver's Wall popping out once again. Good Cocoon lands. As there's the Dark Passage. Prey, he's going to be safe. Longzhu, they're sending the cavalry in, but this is going to be the tower falling. And the whole outer ring now dead for SKT. 3 turrets to none.
Blank gets the smite onto the Gromp. Cuz denied another camp. Gorilla once again heads up with the Dark Passage, but SKT, they are not slowing down. They want more.
Yeah, they're going to get the Seismic Shove onto Gorilla as well. Shutdown Gold comes in. Kick back onto Blank, but he has the repel as Cuz, he's going low once again. Bang grabs that kill. SKT looking so clean in these coordinated fights.
There's a 4-man unit. They have the shields. They have the utility. Everyone getting to melee range is being mown down, and that wave clear, the lack of which we've spoken about multiple times, preyed upon by SKT. They had 2 inner turrets. I'm going to be cracking the base this early, and Khan is still a lifesteal item short of actually being able to duel with the Rumble, so he's still giving up free CS to Huni.
He's got a cute little dagger here as well. As Faker, he's possibly going to fall as BDD, okay, does have the support of Wolf. Wild Growth wasn't available, but BDD didn't want to go overly aggressive.
Even if he used the GLP, wouldn't have had the damage take him down, and Wolf had Flash up to potentially get him out with the Flash Wild Growth, so no kill going to the way of BDD.
No Wild Growth available, actually. Just a lot of respect given as Faker still had his Flash, I guess, but I thought, you know, BDD being BDD would have possibly tried at least one more.
Now notice that Khan reads that there's Rumble on this team, no true tank. Elise also is going to be building probably into the Haunting guys, and thus Leandri is going to go for a solo queue build. A lot of people swear by Trinity Force on the Fiora for that dueling. Certainly will allow the closing to be strong against Huni, but the build gets more and more expensive. Atlas doesn't have the lifesteal to be able to just shrug off the damage from the Flame Spitter. And it does feel like it's going to be 2 items to take down Rumble, and then if Rumble's teleporting around, winning team fights with the Equalizer, it's not going to be the biggest factor. The most Khan can say is, well, the Rumble's 0-0-0, so he hasn't been able to make the plays around the map, and when I hit 2 items, he won't be able to make the plays in my lane.
The problem is that that lead is now stretched to about 5,000 gold. Prey has his Essence Reaver, he's got his Zeal as well, so that cooldown reduction is certainly stacking up.
It is crazy to look at Longzhu and be like, they're really looking for fast forward. They're like, okay, I need my 3 items on the Xayah. I need 2 items on the Fiora. But that 2,000 gold is coming at a time where SKT is much stronger than they are. Double Haunting guys for extra power in the early game. Double Magic Pen and the Banshee Veil respect here from SKT. Longzhu basically cannot look for a 5v5 fight. Everything on SKT is stronger than Longzhu, barring some crazy turret dives, or turret hooks, I guess, like Bang has eaten. So losing the minimum is something only the best teams are capable of. SKT is the best team ever at understanding when they are strong and when they are weak and playing around that. Longzhu need to realize right now they are desperately weak compared to SKT.
Yeah, especially now that Leandri's Torment has just been finished up. Huni has made it 3 masks for the side of SKT. So you mentioned early power in magic damage. It's only accentuated now. There's the Equalizer. They're looking to try and clear out this minion wave, and Huni does so successfully. This tower nowhere near going down. In fact, all of these outer turrets are so healthy for SKT.
Longzhu's best play here is to do their best acting impression. Walk up, look aggressive, look like you're going to contest, and force SKT to back away. Return to your lanes. They need to be able to push out top lane, which Kassadin is entering now. They need to be able to push bottom lane. If they can force SKT to do anything when they are in a power trough, delay SK Telecom, then that's Longzhu winning, even if the scoreboard won't reflect it.
Yep. They're keeping that gold lead about the same. DDD. There's this one out. Huni's going to shove this wave all the way up to the inhibitor turret. Khan's looking to go back. We'll see what he decides to pick up, whether it's the Trinity Force or anywhere closer to the Ravenous Hydra. Actually decides to cancel that back. This minion wave will be coming forward, though.
Damn, triple Leandris.
Oh, man. Like I said, it's a masky build. Baker gets yelled at by Baron.
I wanted to make a very on-the-nose mask reference about obfuscating something, but I'll hold off. Game is high drama. Again, so much power early for SKT. Consider the magic resist is a couple of Merc Treads, a Hex Drinker, the Locket, but Not going to be there anytime soon, and Trinity Force is complete. We're getting there. 2 items on the Xayah, 1 big item on the Fiora.
Chains of Corruption do come down, but Prey...
Equalizer's good one.
Yeah, Featherstorm does come in, and yeah, it's a fantastic equalizer, but can Longzhu actually find an engagement
Do they
here?
need to, Atlas? That's the question.
Kaz. Yep, struggles to keep his health bar. He's going to go straight back home. 4 versus 5 situation now, as a couple of ultimates now on cooldown, make that 3.
They don't have the greatest wave, that's why they're feigning all-ins, but the all-in, I think, will be at their own peril.
Oh, Prey takes so much damage. The heal was used. Really good Dark Passage, but the GLP does a lot of work from BDD. Flashes his way out. There's another Wild Growth on Dohoney as he goes golden. Oh, Kazi was looking for blank, but doesn't get it. Still, no picks to come in, and Gorilla doesn't find the hook. SKT, low health bars. Lower on the side of Longzhu.
Oh, so hard for Longzhu to contest their mid lane turret not going down. The inner does survive. So many summoners used. A lot of people going in and quickly having to make evacuation maneuvers. Don't know what Kaz was doing, trying to dive in, looking for a kill. That was never going to happen. But Longzhu lose a Drake, don't lose their turret, and can reassess and keep piling on the gold. And we're getting closer and closer to 2-item Fiora and 3-item Xayah. So that was actually... unlike what it looked like, an objective going to SKT and nothing for Longzhu, a small win for Longzhu Gaming.
Yeah, it's a difficult game to navigate, Papa Smithy, just given all of that late game power that you're talking about.
Because it feels so bad to give the minimum. If you're a player in this game, you don't have the benefit of the HUD showing us the overall gold, right, between the 2 teams. You feel bad because you gave up an objective and you didn't get one on your own. That's all you see. You hear the Drake being taken and you're frustrated, but the best teams understand what that means in the context of the bigger picture. They don't have Coma in their headsets during the game. They don't have the extra information, but Longzhu should understand that they are in a fine position in this game. Are they in the driver's seat? No, but they drafted Fiora, Kassadin, Xayah. Being in the driver's seat against SKT was never going to happen pre-30 minutes.
Yeah, and it just feels like when Khan can pick up some magic resist as well as those first 2 damage items, the Ravenous Hydra and that Trinity Force this time around, he will be in a great position to go up against Tooney, but like we've been saying, it's just items upon items this Longzhu squad needs.
It's also levels. Getting another 3 levels into BDD, who's a level behind Faker. Khan has had to sit back, so he's a level behind. Those levels are, of course, artificially growing the gold lead. It reads right now at 5,000, but it is actually more than that because of the levels.
Well, Khan lunging his way forward.
Suspicious.
Yeah.
I think that Kassadin was spotted on a ward coming down as well.
He's going to back immediately. Both teleports available here from Longzhu, so having the teleport users on the bottom side of the map is fine. Faker splitting on the top side.
They don't have any control on their red side jungle, so you can see they're going to be slow. They may have to give up the turret. Not quite, but Longzhu again showing restraint. I'm sure Hachani would have been diving into that jungle to put down vision and died instantly.
Yep.
Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, no. I was waiting for I was trying to figure out a way to do it, and then I sort of hated myself for even thinking about it. So you are actually having an influence on me, Papa Smithy, with my terrible jokes.
I like the restraint.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Play-by-play cast with restraint. It's the next level. Not every game is the best game ever. Not every low-hanging fruit needs to be grasped for.
What are you saying? You're not making any sense to me. A seismic shove going to go wide, Cuz was already out of the way of that one. Great. Oh, okay. They'll exchange a Dark Passage for a Chains of Corruption. Longzhu will take it.
And it's also kind of big. It tells you where the game is at, where Longzhu, after that heroic, I guess you could say, defense of the inner turret, can actually push a minion wave right on the equator, I guess you would say, of Summoner's Rift and get out, draw an ultimate, and actually trade up. It was a Dark Passage for an ultimate, and they got that minion wave, and suddenly a pickaxe and a BF sword. Infinity Edge is cheaper, and we're getting there, Atlas, slowly.
Yeah, slowly but surely, and we know what Prey can do in a late-game team fight. He's done it before, mostly on champions like Ashe. This time, Xayah has a lot of damage potential. His hook is going to land. We've got a Q there as well. We're just hunting. See what SKT have planned next on the side of Longzhu.
Series like this are why I love the LCK, because it goes against all expectation. Pre-season, you wouldn't have known this would be a big game. After the first week, you're like, okay, it could be interesting, but Longzhu could just get run over 2-0 by an SKT team that didn't even need to get out of first gear, let alone second against BBQ. I hold the thought.
Yeah, Prey gets back. It's a double knock-up with the Wild Growth as Huni. He's taking a lot of damage. Prey in a decent position, but Gorilla isn't. Faker's going to be able to lock down that kill, but Prey so far forward. He has the Featherstorm available, though, as Khan. He's going to get into the backside. Bang! It's going to be the grand challenge used on him, but Khan has to get himself out. Longzhu, they've only lost one now. They've grouped themselves up. Khan even gets himself out, but SKT with a man advantage should be able to take this inner turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, they'll definitely get the inner turret. Only Gorilla died, only level 11. We'll get back in, 28 minutes in, not the longest respawn. So they don't give up Baron for a single pick. So often the case against SK Telecom in the mid game. They get the red buff as well, so they're getting small objectives. SKT considered their options when it came to diving a turret, won't get to. That turret lived probably 10 minutes more than SKT would have liked. Couldn't get it about 5 minutes ago when they went for the last invasion. Thought Khan was just going to suicide into the back line, but didn't fall. Starting to get some base stats now at level 15. And we reset once again. 3,000 became 5,000, becomes 7,000 as Wolf.
Yeah, Wolf is going to get caught out of position. Kicked back, delivered to Prey. That is going to be the pick that Longzhu wanted. And even if this buys time, it's still good news. The mid lane may get broken open. Longzhu, can they get the maximum from this?
Have they weathered the storm? That's the question. Fiora went the Hex Drinker, so another incremental item. They get the mid lane turret. I have a sneaky suspicion that Prey does have access to Infinity Edge, given that he's been sitting on the BF sword and pickaxe for a while. Clearing vision. Longzhu couldn't get to this Baron to ward it 5 minutes ago. They get there now. They don't lose that inner turret. Hilariously low health value. We still don't know if they've weathered the storm, and even when they hit their items, there's no guarantee you out-team fight SKT in the late game. You could name maybe 3 teams in 3 years that actually had a squad able to out-team fight SK Telecom in the late game. EDG, MSI 2015, one of the few that spring to mind.
Well, 5,000, 6,000 gold, approximately the lead here for SKT. They've got double Mountain Drake as well, and with a third now heading towards Summoner's Rift. We've got SKT grouped around it, and this will mean Barons fall so quickly. Blade of the Ruined King, triple Leandries, and 3 potential Mountain Drakes is despicable amounts of Baron damage.
Makes you wonder if SKT should have been more assertive around that objective before. You're right, they have serious amounts of speed at clearing that objective with current health everywhere.
Well, Kuz locks down the blue buff. That is smite
Smites it
down for about 15 seconds, and that spells Mountain Drake 3 for SKT.
But Longzhu were never going to be really jumping up to contest the Drakes. Again, another fairly free objective is Weaver's Wall. Optimistic from Faker.
Yeah, very aggressive Weaver's Wall there as well. As another Dark Passage gets a Longzhu member to safety. Gorilla has been on point with that cooldown.
Well, Malmortius completed for the Fiora. So going for more of a battle build. Battle beard is what I was looking
Bada boom. Well, does give him that lifeline as well, so there's some life steal.
I think we'll get finally a true read on where Xayah's late game power is. I've been more and more adjusting my expectations upward of Xayah in the late game. There are certainly fights where things get away from her, she can't chase, and she doesn't put out incredible damage, but if the fight comes to her, then we've seen very impressive things from 3-item Zyra, and that's been achieved by Prey pretty early.
Yeah.
May want another Zeal item. The Hurricane can be very strong on Xayah, but
Something like a rapid fire cannon as well has been an item that we've seen Xayah's pick up.
But there's also damage to respect, and the Vamp Scepter suggests Blade of the Ruined King or the Bloodthirst. It still could be the Mercurial Scimitar, but doesn't feel like there's massive value from it in this game when you have access to the Xayah ultimate anyway, so something to allow him to duel with the large amount of flat magic pen on the side of SKT might behoove Prey.
Makes some sense to me. Papa Smithy, I like it.
It's his debut on the Xayah in competitive play. Prey has been one of our best AD carry players at picking up new champions, kind of counterpoint to Deft, who always struggled with new champions, Kalista and others, and Kalista and Jhin both spring to mind, whereas
Xayah as well. I mean, he's had one of the worst performances on that champion so far, has Deft.
Compared to instantly, Prey famously great on Jhin, great Kalista player as well. Different AD carries, of course. And, well, he's all alone here, Khan, so what does this mean for the map? It means that Kasten's coming bot lane.
Yeah, and he is Riposte is going to come out. They are going to lose the Fiora, but BDD looking for the damage onto Bang. And now you've got the rest of the Longzhu squad heading down towards the bottom side, but there's the Weaver's Wall. Faker, he's not going to take it himself. They do make sure that they secure just the one kill. SKT now with so much control.
But this should mean Baron. They need to actually slam dunk this Baron. The items work for it. The champions work for it. The Mountain Drakes are set up for it. SKT need to make that Baron play soon. They're just not willing to pull the trigger. They're respecting the fact that Kaz on Lee Sin can always get the steal.
Yep, and they don't want to go for that 50-50 scenario as Wolf tanks up the queue.
This has to be the time. There's so much Baron. It's insane.
Yep, 15 seconds as Gorilla. He's getting forced to flash out. Kaz still looking for his way in. They are going to slow down on the DPS. There's now Gorilla. He wants to find his way forward. Kaz is in the pit, but Blank locks down the Baron. Kaz at least escapes for a small moment. Faker will pick up the kill. Now Prey. A lot of damage coming in, but it's a double kill now as Gorilla's going to fall down. Khan just couldn't even utilize his teleport to try and get into that fight. Longzhu had already lost.
Yeah, it was a really close one. Both smites were used, so I'm going to try and actually track what happened here. SKT, as always, stopped DPSing it early. Longzhu didn't have the most damage over the wall. First smite comes in. Let's watch it here. First smite comes in from Lee Sin. Actually, second smite from Elise. Great job securing it from Blank. I guess we should expect it. This is his wheelhouse. Pulls off the smite. Necessary in that position. At the advantage of having extra wards, really weighted down, but we send those Baron steals be crazier. No steal this time, and Longzhu, even with all their scaling, against a Baron buff now, if they can't burst down the first member, this comp might not come together.
Yeah, can you scale past this kind of massive gold lead as the grand challenge is going to come through? Fantastic shields, though, on the side of SKT, and there's still a Zhonya's Hourglass from Huni. He is going to use it. Flame Splitter, lots of work done.
Zaya's dead already.
Yeah, it is going to be Huni traded for it, though. Blank falls down, but look at the health bars. They're so low. Bang! Over the wall. He's so healthy. Double kill for BDD, but he falls down, and it's only Khan remaining, and he's now trying to run away, building as much time as he can. But SKT will get so much from this, especially with triple Mountain Drakes.
Yeah, Zaya was exposed. Prey actually dies with his ultimate up. The Featherstone wasn't even used in the fight. There's no peel for him as Khan wants to turn around to kill.
Yeah, looks for it. Actually does a decent job there onto Faker the Flash. Oh my god, finds the weak point now. Wolf, he's in trouble. The double kill for Khan! And he'll now go back to base. They'll lose a turret, but that was a beautiful play.
He does clean up a little bit. Maybe this means there'll be less objectives, or there could be a turnaround play as Bang respects him enough to back away. They don't lose the inhibitor in that spot, which would have been just academic if it was three members grouped together, forcing down the turret. And so often, those long extended runs away lead to a kill, lead to more objectives. The respawn timer is disconnected from the rest of his team, and you get punished more. But Khan turns around against a full health Faker and the utility short of the wild growth available from the side. The flash there, he held onto it the entire time. Definitely looked like they overdived. They didn't win a 5v5 fight, but they got pretty damn close.
And they still saved that inner turret towards the top side of the map. So Papa Smithy, they're grabbing everything that they can. They lose the inhibitor turret, though, on the bottom side, so base broken for SKT. And they have over a 10,000 gold lead at 37 minutes. Somehow still feels like Longzhu are in this series, but it's getting harder and harder for them to figure it all out. It is going to be Prey picking up his last Whisper. Khan not going to get seismically shoved this time, but he's getting controlled here by Faker.
Still at 3 items, hasn't shopped since picking up the Ravenous Hydra. He's going again.
Yeah, Grand Challenge comes in. He doesn't get the stun on the riposte, as now he's just trying to lifesteal back up. Look at all the worked ground that's here as... Okay, Faker just walls the wrong direction. There's another hook onto Wolf. The Q lands as the Elder Drake has been started.
Oh, Khan still wants this.
He does. Faker
He's got his cooldowns back up.
He's going to be backing, but look at this. The pebbles come out. Seismic Shove doesn't find the mark. Threaded Volley not there either. Cuz just keeping his eye on everyone, and oh my goodness, it is on such a knife's edge. Every single play can go one or two ways.
And at some point you have to really recognize that Longzhu have made this The closest series but with SK Telecom, though, he's seen in a long time. Sure, it's not a 2-0 victory like Samsung were able to inflict on them on the second day of the season, but a week in with SKT getting the reset with their win over BBQ. Longzhu are taking it into the late game. They've gotten through the early game on such a hard comp to pull off. The greed in the draft hasn't necessarily paid off, but it's close to paying off. Elder Dragon.
Yep, Cuz not able to get in there. Chains of Corruption just to make sure that Cuz isn't going to flash for any sort of smite.
Khan is split pushing, has teleport up, level 18 on the Fiora.
Longzhu, do they have the wave clear to actually stave off SKT
Nope.
right now as they push forward? Exactly right, Papa Smithy. You've answered it. And with an Elder Drake, I don't think Longzhu are going to go for any sort of 4 versus 5. Tower will fall on the top side of the map for Longzhu. But now with Elder Drake plus triple Mountain, it's a bit of a disaster. So Inhibitor will fall down. SKT not going to push too far forward into the base. They just back away. They do not want to go for any sort of trade.
And Khan understands that, hey, we don't really want a team fight 5v5 against 3-stack Elder Dragons, so that's why he just goes for what he hopes is a trade. Baker's here.
He's just going to take a cheeky Krug camp there as well as SKT unable to lock down the Fiora, and she'll just utilize this as a way to walk towards the bottom lane and threaten the outer turret. Feel like that was actually all planned.
And with all complete knowledge of what happened there, Longzhu probably got the most they were going to. 2 turrets. They gave up a inhibitor, but they weren't going to be able to 5v5 it. Initiating fights still pretty hard for Longzhu, and Thresh in the late game isn't the same terror that he is in the laning phase. Just ask Bang.
Yep.
The items continue to pile up. They got what they wanted. They got late game with Kassadin and Fiora, and yet there still is some ambiguity over who will win this game. Rumble hasn't necessarily made the plays you'd expect. 0-1-5 with a team that has 14 kills. But if it doesn't work now, then the investment wasn't worth it, because they've gotten to that late game point, Atlas. It's 10,000 gold, but that gold is meaning less and less as time goes on.
A lot of that gold lead actually is on Blank over Cuz as well, when both of these junglers are going to be mainly utility, where gold isn't as relevant.
You say that, but
we move further.
Blank's got a lot of ability power.
Oh, actually that, okay, just having a look at those items, yes. Okay, Blank, he is just another AP carry, never mind.
No lockets or dead man's plates there.
That is some seriously solo queue stuff, I love it. Absolutely fantastic, as Faker breathes on the top inner turret, and that's going to fall down.
And they want to kill Rumble.
Yeah, well there's the flash, Grand Challenge comes down, Huni does have the Zhonyas.
He will die eventually.
As Khan is tanking the turret forever, that equalizer is not going to be enough. Khan decides he's just going to hang out in that healing field. Hook doesn't land as Weaver's Wall just breaks off this team. This 3-man squad comes in, good shove back on Gorilla, throws the box down, but is still going to die. Prey gets the root caller down. Oh, sorry, the blade caller down. He's not an Ivern.
Khan's back for the fight. BD's here too.
Now, so much lifesteal for Khan at the same time. That extra Vamp Scepter doing some work. Okay.
We'll lose most likely a second inhibitor unless...
Well, Blank does Zhonya's. Everyone seems to be able to turn gold right now as Faker taking a lot of damage. Prey, BDD, he's trying to launch his way forward. Bang.
How much more can they get?
Okay, throws out the Super Soaker. But he's just standing on these pebbles. Khan, he will fall down, and now SKT turn it back around. Grand Challenge, not going to do anything now.
Prey's running away, so he's doing no damage as he returns. BD doesn't have the health bar. They still will lose the second inhibitor turret. Seeing Prey zoned away from damage. Actually, here's the teleport. They still want this.
Okay, teleport comes in. BDD looking for the kill onto Bang. Answering teleports there, but BDD waited a little bit too long. The teleport is cancelled.
So much happening there. You might wonder, why doesn't BD go in? Polymorph and the extreme damage of 6-item Varus means they can't follow through on the initiation. BD knows he'll be turned on, doesn't have any armor in his build. Speaking of turning, Longzhu's turning on to Baron.
Yeah, well, Bang, he's going to get flayed back as well. So much damage to come out. That's the pick. It goes to Prey there as well. Weaver's Wall comes in. SKT wants to block off this Baron.
And also to waste Longzhu's time. Remember, double inhibitor is down in their base. They cannot play monkey business around the Baron for too long.
Well, Kuz also can't wait on his own at all. These Nexus turrets are at least going to be kept alive.
No teleport for Khan, so only there to wave clear in return. A long death timer at 43 minutes into the game for Bang.
Okay, BDD launches himself forward. Longju, they're looking for Faker. Banshee's Veil still up. And we'll turn back onto this Baron once again. Look at the damage from Longju.
It's going to be given up by SKT. Equalizer thrown down. It's going to take a big fail smite.
Yeah.
Oh, Cuz was not risking it. He wasn't smiting at 900 Atlas. He was waiting.
Certainly didn't happen that time as Bang, he's about to respawn. Elder Drake number 2 going to be coming up relatively soon.
Oh, the ultra late game is here. So close to it. Almost 6 items on every champion. Fiora 1 item short.
Elixir of Wrath actually picked up here as well as Seismic Shove gets Faker another blue buff. He's got 6 items. We've got 6. Luden's Echo on Rumble. Only Hoonie. Oh my god, that's fantastic. But it's Mercurial Scimitar done for Khan as well, so having that extra utility with that item, the extra movement speed so important as Bang's going to lead the charge down here. Can Khan actually burst him quickly
Khan
enough?
was like, I want... No, okay. And Khan is 1 item short of maybe having the build he needs, because you remember that Spirit Visage and double lifesteal was so often the build for these
now
Fioras.
It's even better.
Well, it didn't fit Bloodthirster in, so it's actually going to be a little less, but I take what you're saying. You do get 30% extra healing on the Spirit Visage. And Spirit Visage is doing just the most work you could ever hope for. Is Longju have kind of gone for the builds they need, which is stack magic resist and kill Bang is kind of the build here. No one's building armor because there's only 1 physical damage dealer on the side of SKT. So hard to breathe. Again, it feels like we're already fast-forwarding to September, late August, looking into the playoff matches, but we're only week 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, this inhibitor going to be under fire. Now Prey looking to try and clear out this minion wave. Will do so relatively effectively. Rapid fire cannon that we were talking about before has been completed for that 6th item for Prey. Does
feel like Longju kind of have to make the miracle pick. Someone like Gorilla, only person that can really create that. If either Kassadin, Lee Sin, or Fiora open up, Polymorph, other answers will be there. Lulu has always been the bane of melee initiators, so still very difficult as, well, there's 1 tool for SKT down.
And Chance of Corruption going to go wide. Bang, lots of damage as Prey just pops him. Cuz looks for it, gets the kickback.
Bang's still alive.
Yeah, he is still alive. It's going to be Blank picking up a kill. Hoonie grabs another one as Prey. He's dead. That is so much of the consistent damage now eradicated, and Bang back to half health. It's going to take a hero play. Oh my god, he pops over Faker. He's going to be dead. Khan throws down the Mercurial Scimitar, and now he's taking them on a merry ride.
He flashed over one of the thickest, was instant killed the Talia. Faker will wonder what hit him. Still 4 members of SKT though. Hoonie trying to stop Khan from coming in the back line.
Yeah, and this inhibitor will fall down. The mid lane one is looking to be ignored on the side of SKT.
Of a hero?
Oh my god, BDD took so much damage there as well. 3 inhibitors down. SKT pressing forward. 2 dead versus the 1 dead on SKT's side. The first Nexus turret falling down. Solo Blank falling. Oh my god! This is massive from BDD as he launches his way forward. That's a triple kill. Khan grabs 1. That's the ace for Longju.
And can they end the game? They're going to try and turn it around. The death timers are so long.
They've got teleports. They're heading down the mid lane. They've still got Baron buff as well. Double super creeps careening down all 3 lanes on the side of Longju.
Prey has to stay in base. We'll slow things down. 40 seconds for Bang, 45 for Blank, 40 for Hoonie. Faker is alive, but this is more than Longju could have hoped for after the last fight.
And Faker, the champion, has to hold on for as long as possible.
Wall's a good start, no minions.
Yeah, but Longju look like they don't care. They're just going to tank this one up.
The backdoor bonus is pretty relevant here. It's taking forever to kill this inhibitor turret.
Yep, and it's BDD that was tanking it up first, is now 4 members strong, bashing down on this
They're not
turret.
going to be in the game, I don't think, Atlas. I don't think they can do it.
I don't think so either. This inhibitor will fall, though, so Longju, some respite, cuz please bash it at least once. Okay, I am shaking all over Papa Smithy. It still feels like we don't know who's going to win this game.
They've got 1 inhibitor back. That's something. Baron buff will be spawning in a couple of minutes. That's something. Elder Dragon number 2 spawning in a minute. What can Longju contest? Because it still feels, if it's true 5v5, SKT have to make a pretty big mistake not to be shut down by
Oh.
Not to be able to shut down with so many tools. It feels like Wolf holds all the power. Weirdly, the Lulu holds the game in her hands because Polymorph, Wild Growth, the shields, Mikhail's Crucible, so many tools to answer one of Longzhu. But if you all commit until you die, the game is over anyway. So for it to be poised at 48 minutes, oh my goodness.
This is just terrifying. Khan now has 6 items. The Guardian Angel now completed. Decides to forego that Spirit Visage for that extra life as Kuz just needs the one kick. We always talk about Lee Sin in the late game. And now SKT positioned around this Elder Drake. As Gorilla possibly caught out of position. That was Chains of Corruption going wide.
BDD is far away. He will be spotted on wards though. SKT are chasing.
Gorilla down to about half health. Kuz as well. He's taken a lot of damage. Huni, he's been chunked prey. Did a lot of work as BDD jumps his way forward. Bang! Has taken out Kuz before he can do anything though. Redemption trying to keep the Longzhu members alive, but there's the Weaver's Wall. The Equalizer down as well. Cocoon lands double kill for Bang as SKT take control. Khan should go down to the Guardian Angel. No, look at the lifesteal. It's ridiculous. And no one on SKT's dead just yet.
Says a lot about the champions. The fight isn't over in a 3v5 scenario. SKT will back off. They still have minions. They still have options. BDD, well, that's Rumble dead.
Yep, Huni is most certainly not alive anymore. There's now BDD forced to go back. He needs to try and defend because that last Nexus turret is so important. Poor Elder Drake makes this even harder for Longzhu.
I don't know when to breathe, Atlas.
Neither do I.
It feels like every time I do, we might miss something because across the map, so many objectives are happening. BDD forced to recall, has teleport. They have to give up Elder Dragon 3-stack once again to SK Telecom T1. Utter madness, this game is still going. The Weaver's Wall to stop the backdoor, introduce the backdoor bonus, added what, 30 seconds of life to SKT, and that allowed the respawns to come through. The fights are continuing to go as, well, Faker was in vision when that happened, so that's bad.
That is certainly unfortunate.
He was
Maybe
typing.
It's a bait.
Nope, it's not a bait. But speaking of baits, I actually want to follow that point because you talked about Kuz finding the kick.
Yeah?
He's probably never going to get the kick, but honestly, him blowing a polymorph, him blowing anything, might be allowed, if it allows BDD to come in and just be, he killed him with a Q. Holy crap.
Yeah, but look at the build. Huni's got no magic resistance.
It was a single purple beach ball. It's not supposed to kill you.
Oh, we're all so on edge. Oh dear, I believe Huni may have even had the Zhonya's available there, just didn't expect said beach ball to really take him down. Elder Dragon still rotating on these SKT members.
This game can change in an instant. That kick you speak about, Wolf being too slow on a polymorph, someone being burst in an instant, which we already can tell, BDD, Prey, Khan, all of 3 can do that. The game might end and SKT will wonder how. Speaking of Khan, he's going to walk in, proxy the wave. Yep. He wants to force SKT's positioning, which you wouldn't think at 51 minutes with 2 inhibitors down, now only 1, that a Fiora could do that, but realistically...
Well, Inhibitor is about to respawn here as well, so Khan wants to be ready to take that one down as soon as it's available. He has teleport. Remember, this is Longzhu with a double teleport composition, but Gorilla, he's been caught out. Kuz is there. He's landed the Q, but doesn't want to go in onto Bang. That is one pick that may have won SKT the game.
And they're going to try and go in. Weaver's Wall to stop the people from backing. One teleport coming in, this one from Rumble. Fiora will meet the Rumble.
Oh, BDD!
He's interrupted!
He's jumped on top of him, has to use the Zhonya's there as well as Prey. He's also hanging around the side, but Huni, he's still alive. BDD is able to take that one down. Zhonya's used. He flashes forward. Rift walks there. Kuz wants to keep him alive, but Bang refuses to let this game go.
Prey's all alone.
Yeah, he's got the Feather Storm. It's going to be all about when he gets to use it. In goes Khan, but it means he's not in the base, taking down more inhibitors.
Doesn't die, doesn't give up Guardian Angel either. This game continues.
Oh my god, Kuz gets himself back to full health, but one inhibitor will fall down. SKT, they know they are so frail. Blank, he's got the repel. Faker wants that Banshee's Veil back up.
They're still chasing. They don't want to give SKT any free time. Everyone's at 6 items. Wards can't go down because there's no space for them. This game is seesawed so many times, they broke the damn seesaw. They had to find another one.
It's 53 minutes in, 22-22. SKT just hit 100,000 gold. Oh my god, Papa Smithy, please check my pulse.
You're still alive.
I'm actually
but only
shaking.
Just.
This is out of control. I think I've said that about 4,000 times, but I honestly don't care, ladies and gentlemen. There are only so many words a man can say.
You've invoked God so many times today, Atlas. This is the sort of game where when you've invoked God that many times, I think everyone's allowed to put up their hand and be like, maybe that was too much.
Yep.
The blasphemy has been real.
That's like some sort of REM situation. Oh my goodness. 3,000 gold in the lead is Khan, actually, as there's a hook to land on the Wolf.
They'd love to kill Lulu first. Lulu cannot face check anybody. If she dies, I think Longzhu win because they don't have Polymorph, they don't have Mikhails, they don't have the extra tools to be able to fight. But SKT, again, they're making the best of a bad situation. No one can enter lane against Fiora, so they're going to try and rush down Baron. But how much is Baron worth at this point in the game?
But look at the commitment here from...
Doesn't get it.
Oh my god, okay, so that is going to be a lot thrown in onto Cuz trying to land that steal. Prey just looking for the roots onto these members, because if they can stall this one out, we've got empowered recalls, but
they didn't even
is it
get
going
the
to
turret.
fall? No!
They stopped the recalls.
They have, that is the inhibitor falling down. BDD, he does have the Rift Walks. He wants to go for this one. He's so incredibly low. We'll have another Rift Walk, but Huni grabs that kill. Khan, he wants to be able to get back home. They at least get the inhibitor on the bottom side of the map.
But look at the death timers, Atlas. It's 70 damn seconds for BDD to come back up. 5v3, no wave clear. They have to go for this backdoor mission. SKT want a front door, and Longzhu. In other MOBAs, this would be illegal. You're not allowed to backdoor Atlas. There's nothing honorable about what Longzhu were doing, but this is all they can do.
Well, Prey and Gorilla are going to shoot themselves forward. Faker clears out the minion wave on the bottom side, and Khan can't deal with the super buffed minions from that Baron
Prey
buff.
and Gorilla versus Bang and Wolf in the base. Blank stopping it being honorable. He throws in the lantern only on one, and they have to
there's
initiate.
The flash. The Featherstorm comes out. Prey, he's still alive. Blank uses the Zhonya's. Wolf flashes forward, gets the polymorph, and now the Nexus is going to be taken down. SKT, after 55 minutes, dispatch Longzhu, but this series was unbelievable.
People are basically standing here. That is the level of applause. It deserves a standing applause. Wonderful game of League of Legends. The brightest spot we've had in summer and the best game we had all year. Sorry, Telecom War #1. We find it here. SKT against a draft that's so strong in the late game, could not make mistakes. So many times were forced back when they went 5v3, 5v3 so many times, and yet it felt like Longzhu would still find the way to get over the line. They look crestfallen, and you can understand that, but they forced the 4-time world champions in a row, if you include MSI and Worlds, into this. They forced them to the last possible minute, just like that Telecom War. SK Telecom T1 is your winner. Cuz feels the pain of defeat for the first time as a pro player. We are the victors. SK Telecom, the team, are the victors, but we, the viewers, got to see a wonderful series that went both ways. I'm just losing the ability to make coherent sentences because this series was amazing.
Yeah, you mentioned that it delivered. I have a feeling that if this was a best of 5, I'd need like a 30-minute break to ice my throat moving into game number 4.
We only have 2 casters per night. It feels like we need to like call Achilles.
Yeah.
Get in here, mate.
Please sub in for me, and I'm sure he'd love to as well, because this series was out of control good. Oh.
And after this, Longzhu and SKT are both 2-1.
Oh, and then you've got Samsung sitting at the top of the table saying, "You played well, guys.
Samsung's like,
to be undefeated."
Man, we got SKT at a good time." And that one-match victory could mean everything at the top of the table. No league is more cutthroat than the LCK. I'm not talking about the level of competition. That's implied. But guess what? If you finish first or you finish second, the difference is massive. You get to wait in the final, skip a best of 5, and one-match victory. Went against Longzhu, went for SKT, went against SKT against Samsung. The greater than chains are going to start to grow because there's a lot of parity among teams in the LCK in summer season. And the what-ifs when we get down to our 18th match of the season are going to run real for both teams.
Yeah, and you can see the crestfallen faces of Longzhu Gaming. This is so early in the season. There is so much League of Legends to play, but they still know that any sort of victory over SKT is so important.
Atlas, there are 3 players on the Longzhu team that have never tasted defeat on Longzhu. Khan, new into the lineup, not a rookie, but certainly new to top-level play in Korea. Cuz, only his 3rd best of 3 ever welcome to best of threes. And then you have BDD, who of course felt the defeat many, many times on CJ Entus, but as a starter on Longzhu after a great start to the season, he came in with a 24.5 KDA before the day and certainly acquitted himself very well. Kaz is the one, of course, you feel the most for as his third ever best of three. The what-ifs are going to reign supreme, especially for junglers who, if they got that smite right, could have made the difference in the game. It's the sort of series where VOD reviewing it would take 5 times as long as what was, a 50-plus minute game.
Yep. And it'd also be so heartbreaking as well. They'd be able to see the moments where maybe something could have been, some skill shot could have been an inch to one other way and things could have all changed.
And then you have Blank, who still is undefeated in 2017. You wonder how he can't be a starter.
It's true. And look at Bang. This is why he picks Varus game after game. 55,000 damage.
I wish we could have win-win there, Atlas.
Yeah.
One team has to lose. That team is Longzhu Gaming, but
remember, the real winners are us.
Hard.
You said it already. And if this is a preview for the rest of the season, I'm going to need to make sure that I don't speak at any other time other than on an LCK desk.
I've got 2 best of 3s tomorrow.
Oh, and Blank is going to pick up the MVP.
Double.
That is back-to-back for the undefeated SKT jungler for 2017.
Incredible series.
I feel like the MVP could have almost gone to anyone. But he's going to even things out with Cuz as well. So both of these junglers picking up 2. But having 2 for 2 on Blank's side is
How do you
pretty
find
good.
a replay package for this game? We had, 20 team fights during the game? Double digits for sure.
Yeah.
The last one's on a razor's edge. SKT always trading up, but then the pesky Fiora in the backline. Then double TP, potentially taking them down.
And then the double kill from Khan as well. We have to see that despite the SKT victory because it was so good. Khan has been a highlight reel tonight.
The last smite, I think it may have been the Baron after this. It might be this Baron as well. Let's watch it here.
Oh, that's like an explosion almost instantly.
No, this was the fight. Cuz smites first, Blank smites second. His smites were true. What can be the difference between a victory and a loss? Any of those Barons have gone the way of Longzhu and not been another tool for SKT to abuse the low wave clear on Longzhu's side. Somewhere Zyrene is being like, I have to pull out a replay from this team, from this game. How do I do it?
Well,
teamfight breakdown.
Probably just like make a breakdown of the entire game. Just have it a really long one. Ignore the fact that, you need a video of a certain length. Just do a 57-minute breakdown.
You could play a 10-minute video highlight in 2 times speed and it would somehow just leave you wanting still. There was so much happening in this game, so many different initiations. Lulu being able to thwart all of them was real feels bad, man, for a lot of the Melee champions trying to make things happen in this game. Wolf will say something about him being an MVP, 10 out of 10, etc. So many insane fights. Picking an MVP was a disaster in this one.
I didn't actually know, honestly. And yes, I believe I voted for Blank, but it could have been anyone.
Here's the only question I'll wonder. Do you go in for a Baron steal at 50 minutes? Because
that would have won them the game. They would have just flat out won.
I always ask, is actually giving up your life for a buff on 4 members worth it? And I'm never sure at 50 minutes in with 70-second death timers. Another thing to wonder, I'm sure Kaz will ask the questions.
Yeah. I'm just thinking with a Kassadin, with Lichbane, with a Fiora who does so much damage to turrets.
I'm holding up my hands, Atlas.
We won't know, but we are going to go to our MVP interview with Blank. And here's Joel. Take it away, mate. We need a rest.
Thank you very much, guys. But Longzhu Gaming, with their heads pulled down, they can keep their heads on high because they provided the best form of League of Legends entertainment we've seen in months. And we are here with SK Telecom, who in the end pulled off a 2-1 victory against these guys. And we are here with the only MVP of the series, Blank, for the interview. I think it's been about a year since I've been sitting here in the interview. It's been such a long time, so it feels very different today. He was asking where the former host was, but just regarding all that, what we need to talk about the game. How was the game overall? Yeah, it feels like, when we were actually in the game, we didn't feel all the shaky or the jitters or anything like that, but only after the game ended, we just kind of realized how incredible the series was. But you know, all things aside, I played well, so nothing else matters.
이래서 또 SKT의 수호신이라는 별명을 준 거예요.
항상 이렇게 약간 구원투수 느낌으로 출전하실 때마다
And you seem like always that closing pitcher that really closes out the games for SKT, even if they're when they're behind. But what does that feel like?
상감은 전혀 없어요. 그러니까 코치님이나 뭐 감독님이 더 저를 챙겨주시는
And the thing with, you know, Peanut and me is just like, they don't really have a favoritism going on, but they always want the best player in certain situations. They feel like when Peanut is behind, they want me in.
하고 나서 이 세트에 블랙 선수가 이제 투입이 됐잖아요. 그 사이에 뭐 어떤 걸 주문한 거나 뭐 그런 거
Was there a specific order put on your side once you were subbed in for game 2?
1픽으로 제가 정글을 먹었잖아요. 그래서 그냥
You know, I think first of all, with first pick going to the jungle,
해주 1픽을 먹었으니까 제가 더 잘해.
and I think getting that first priority and picking picks and bans and really
세트 얘기를 좀
up my pressure on me having to perform well.
신선했잖아요. 어떻게 보면 그러니까 당황하시지 않았나요? 뭐 탑카시라든가
Weren't you confused with all the confusing picks that came on the Longsu side in game 2 with top Cassiopeia and the Zed?
예상을 못하긴 했는데 어차피 한강하면 저희가
Yeah, we really didn't expect the top Cassiopeia, but we were kind of looking to the team fights and we knew that we were stronger and we didn't worry too much.
그렇죠. 근데 사실 이 세트 초반에는 이제 좀 먼저 키를 상대가 내주면서 시작을 했단 말이에요.
And second game, you guys started off giving off a kill to Longzu, but had to go with that.
미드가 집 타임을 잡는데 제가 좀 욕심 부려서
Yeah, I think I was a little bit greedy when, the mid laner was supposed to recall back to base, but, we tried to be a little bit more aggressive, and I think that was a little bit of my mistake in going too aggressively when not needed.
저희가 바론을 먹고 미드 2차 쪽에 지나가는데
And after, getting the Baron, we should have went to the second tier turret, but I thought, I saw the Longzu side, I thought actually that was us, so that was a little bit of mistake of communication.
정글러 티어에 대해서 생각이 조금씩 다른 부분들이 있는데
And I'm sure a lot of junglers right now in the LCK have a lot of different choices on what the top tier junglers are and what is Gragas picked towards you.
전에도 그라스를 많이 플레이했었고 요즘에도 많이
It's more of an experience thing. I've played the Gragas jungle for a while, and even though it's not the best pick, it's still valid right now in the current meta. And I think just me having practice on that even in recent times, that kind of affected my pick today.
장면이 준비되어 있습니다.
We have one of the video highlights from the many highlights I'm sure we can show from this series. Weren't you surprised when Longzu was trying to go for the bust here?
여기서 제가 먹죠?
This is where I get the Baron. Pretty sure. Oh, good job, me. Good job, me.
그때 코멘트보다는 감상하는 느낌으로
그렇죠. 그리고 장면들이 워낙 많아서
Of course, we have a lot of highlights to show, but it just goes to show that no matter what highlight you show, he's just gonna compliment himself with blank. And
넘어가는 시점인데
but we want to move on to the third game, though.
앨리스를 가져왔단 말이에요.
You picked out Elise, though. But what is your
일단 지금
thoughts on that pick?
좀 1티어 같은 정글러고 앨리스도 좋긴 하거든요.
Elise is a top tier pick and one of the top tier picks you can choose from.
네, 그렇죠. 뭐 예.
And that's probably what I think of it. It's just a good pick right now.
또 뱀픽으로 재밌는 좀 무서운 조합을 가져갔거든요.
And third game was no difference on the Longzhu side, picking up a few of these funny picks that we didn't expect from them.
ท็적인 콜이 계속 설계가 됐던 건가요?
How was the structure over that?
하기 전부터 많이
Trying to counter that picks.
제가 그냥 뭐 이렇게 할 거니까 뭐 이렇게 해줘라.
I was trying to be a little bit more initiative with the strategy that we were going to initiate, and I was telling my teammates of what to do and what to do in certain situations. I think they followed through very well.
콜에 의한 그런 움직임이었다 이런 말씀이셨는데 사실 3세트가 계속 엎치락뒤치락 하면서
And game 3 was really back and forth between you guys.
진행될수록 뭐 팀원들끼리는
And I'm sure, what was the coordination like as you got later into the game?
뭐 계속 콜이 오고 갔는데 뭐 딱히 특별한 건 없었고 그냥
Yeah, we had a lot of shot callings going between our teammates, and I think nothing was really other than just like being focused and
처럼 했던 것 같아요.
also I think trying to be concentrate on the actual objectives as the games got later into the game.
언제쯤 게임은 이건 확실히 우리가 이겼다 이런 걸
When did you decide and when did you know that you guys were actually going to win the game?
1로 그게 졌잖아요 저희가.
Yeah, we lost our 2-1 battle against the Fiora, and we lost our two champions, and
그래서 거기서 이겼다.
that was a situation where we could have lost, but getting the Fiora back on our side and killing it off, that's the moment we knew that we were gonna win.
그래서 3세트에서도 좀 준비된 장면이 있다고 합니다.
We do have another video highlight prepared for Game 3.
하죠. 여기서
마지막 상대의 승부수 장면이었던 걸로 기억해요.
And this was probably the last
바로 스틱까지 연달아
fight from Longzhu, trying to get to that Baron steal.
하지 않았나요? 만약 바로는 뺏겼다.
바론 뺏겼으면
If you had lost the Baron, what would have happened?
쪽으로는 안 뺏겼으니까 괜찮은데 그때는 조금
Yeah,
일단
not that because it wasn't taken, we were not so worried about it. But if it was taken,
계속 보거든요.
I was always trying to see, what they're trying to go with the Baron steals. But
네. 옛날에는 많이 뺏겼었는데 지금
yeah, I've had instances before that I had the Baron stolen in crucial times, but because of that, I worked extra hard, trying to get it back. But you guys know what I mean. And Blank seems pretty confused about what he's trying to say, so harder with the translation.
오늘 또 그래서 블랙 선수가 나와서 결국 다 이겼어요.
Well, of course, in the end, Blank, you came in Game 2 and still stayed undefeated in 2017. Do you kind of worry about your record?
고 있지만 뭐 괜찮은 기록이네요.
I try not to worry about the record, but it seems alright.
이번 시즌 센터가 될 자격이 일단 있으신 것 같아요. 지금.
그렇죠. 혹시 그 화제 영상
Oh, did you see the video
선수가 또 워낙
regarding the center of the LCK? Did you see that video yet?
항상 뭐랩 같은 걸 좋아하기 때문에
I'm a big fan of rap, and
여기도 랩의 신이 한 명 있거든요.
아니 지금 오늘
we also have a rap god right here, standing right beside me.
이랬는데 어디 한번 뭐 안 됩니까?
Do you want to show an example of your rap skills, considering that you're a rap god yourself?
제가 또 프로듀스 그 뭐야 롤에서 했던 거 한번 조금만 보여드리도록 할까요?
예.
And show a little example of it.
He tried.
That partially ruined his career for a bit, so
나가서 이렇게 하기 쉽지 않은데
Good job, Blank.
그럼에도 불구하고 이렇게 또 응해주셔서 너무 감사합니다.
마지막으로 할 얘기가 있는데
I do have one last thing that I want to say.
그랬어요. 예. 진행까지 완벽하네요. 예.
다음 상대가 위너스인데 그 미드 라이너 선수 세키스 선수랑 좀
Our next opponent is Ever 8 Winners,
그리고 제가 무조건 다
and Septid is one of those players that we have close eyes upon, and
사과의 말씀을 드리고 싶고
I do want to say that, regarding some of the things that I said, along with the team, I do want to apologize for the things we said to Septid indirectly.
언급하기 좀 힘들었던 부분인데 또 이렇게 예. 그럼 여기 또 많은 분들이 늦은 시간에도 불구하고
But also, with the fans here
감사의 인사 좀
staying until late to cheer you guys on, would you want to say anything to them?
정말 고맙고
We thank you so much for coming today.
그런 분들이기 때문에 제가 또 여기 자리에 있다고 생각합니다.
And I'm sure because of your guys' support, that is the reason that we are here today, playing our best.
사실 좀 많이 힘들었었는데
And it was a bit of a struggle, moving forward in my career as a professional player, but
하다 보니까
I think, with enough support and with enough, power from you guys.
팬분들 때문에 제가 있는 것 같아요.
And what I want to say in the end is that because of the fans, I am here today, so I really appreciate you guys. And a sweet interview from Blank, but that is the end of the interview. Back over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Joel, and also thank you very much to Blank. I feel like don't quit your day job applies just a little bit here, because those rap skills were certainly not as good as his Gragas at least.
Look, he's feeling a bit rusty, Atlas, but not in the League of Legends discussion. He has not played a game in over 3 months. No competitive games. Sure, solo queues, scrims, very different beast to have to come in.
Yeah,
and
completely
defend.
different patch as well.
29 of March was the last time he
Oh my
played.
goodness.
We are now on the 7th of June, so long ago did Blank last play, but his heroics, double MVP. They're 1 game behind Longzhu, which is awesome to track.
That is absolutely fantastic.
8-0
The fact that
on the year.
Jin Air Green Wings
Yep.
are now theoretically one above the both of them is amazing. Tonight, Jin Air Green Wings made it to 2nd place.
That was today.
I love LCK.
LCK can be great. We're both sweating here from all the action.
Yeah. It's also extraordinarily hot.
That's true. Our voices strained as well.
Oh, yeah. But I wouldn't want it any other way, Papa Smithy. And tomorrow night, we've got MVP versus Samsung. Samsung hoping to continue their undefeated streak as then Afrika Freaks take on BBQ Olivers. who have had some rough ones in the past, but of course, Longzhu Gaming and SKT, no slouches whatsoever, and BBQ Oliver's had a rough start to the season, having to take on the both of those.
Finding it hard to think forward, but we're going to continue pushing forward. On Saturday, OGN will be back. Jin Air
Top of
versus
the table
Longzhu.
matchup.
Jin Air versus Longzhu, like you say, is 2v3, and then SKT versus Ever8. Will SKT stamp out whatever Ever8 showed earlier in this season and really confirm themselves to be the team we know them to be, or will Ever8 and Scepted, Scepted being compared to Faker so much?
Yeah.
I'm sure Faker has something to say about that as well.
And then it is going to be BBQ Olivers versus Rocks Tigers. KT Rolster versus MVP on Sunday. Still so much this week's LCK action to come. And I have no idea what the standings are going to look like by the end of the week. But I'm so excited for Jin Air versus Longzhu.
These are words we didn't expect
I
to
know!
say.
This is the best thing about this the entire summer split, is the fact that we can say that sentence and it doesn't sound ridiculous.
It's amazing that the present we want to unwrap is who is better, Jin Air Green Wings or Longzhu Gaming? That's really the question we have right now.
Yeah, and it's so exciting to see. And look, you can see both of us well and truly frazzled. It has been an honor to cast for you this evening. These games, even the first series as well, Ever8 versus Jin Air. Jin Air putting on a clinic, but doing it with such refined style as well, means that going into the series against Longzhu, it most certainly is a hype matchup. Oh, Papa Smithy, do you have anything left in the tank? Anything you want to say?
I do. I love you all. Thanks for watching.
Thanks very much, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.